This week in our devotional, we're going to be looking at the moral law. Now, there are three kinds of law, and this is important in the Old Testament. There's the moral law, which are like the Ten Commandments. There is the ceremonial law, which gave guidance to Israel, the Old Testament church, how they were to worship God and experience God's love and forgiveness. That had to do with the sacrifices, the sacrificial system, the priests, the Holy of Holies, and those kinds of things. And that points us to Christ, obviously. And then there's the civil law. The civil law was the law given to Israel as a government. See, the Old Testament church was both church and state, but the New Covenant church is just church without being the state. So the New Testament church only has spiritual authority. But Israel, as the Old Testament church, had both spiritual and civil. So we can learn about some good laws and what love looks like through the civil law, but that no longer applies directly to New Testament Christians. That's one of the elements of discontinuity in the paradigm of continuity. And then the ceremonial law, like I said, it clearly points us to Christ again and again and again, and the work and benefits of his blood. But the moral law is something that applies equally to the Old Testament church and the New Testament church. The Ten Commandments are almost every one of them repeated in the New Testament. And in our devotional this week, we read the summation of the law, which is Micah 6:8. And all of us tend to know that verse. What does God require of you but to walk in kindness and to love justice and to walk humbly with our God? Now, isn't that interesting that the summation of the law, just like Jesus said, love your Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, is summarized in be kind, pursue justice, and be humble. As you think of the church today, or maybe perhaps even your own life, are you walking in kindness? In Titus 3:2, we're commanded to show perfect courtesy to all. Is that how we're living our lives right now in this very volatile season of our lives? Are we pursuing justice? Now, you may think of justice as going after the murderers, going after the adulterers. And of course, all sin we're to pursue like that. And yet, justice also means loving the oppressed, loving the widow, loving the orphan, the fatherless, loving the poor. So the moral law tells us what love looks like. As we experience love in grace, we express love. So remember, the moral law teaches us how to love.